What's up, Marvel fans? This is Stan Series, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing my spoiler review for the Black Panther film. So yeah, I went to see the new Black Panther today, and it was awesome. Actually, it was what I was expecting. Like a lot of action, and it was actually a good story as well. The characters, and wow, it was like mind blowing to me, and I really loved the film. I really do. So, before we get into it, now, this is a spoiler review, so if you don't want to hear what I'm about to spoil, then leave the video, and then if you do want to come back to it, after you see the film, or if you're like a person who doesn't really care and who's not going to see it, then enjoy the show, really. So, and also, I'm going to try and make sure when I do these kind of videos, I'm trying to see if I can do half an hour now, because I'm trying to do I'll make sure I just get to the point of the parts of the story, like spoiler wise, and leave some stuff out that's not really important to the story, but I could bring some more. But anyway, I'll see how it goes. I'm really trying to improve these spoiler review videos. So anyway, let's give it a go. So we start off in 1992 in California. And I believe it's the Okoye area. You have to forgive me if I don't know what it is in California, but there's an area in California I'm trying to name. Anyway, so we are introduced to these two people. Now they look like they're prepared to go into fighting because they got these guns and everything. And in part of the scene, we see something in the sky, and it's like weird. You're like, what's that in the sky? But then it turns out there's these two Dumaji women who come to their flat. This is all take place in this flat. Well, this big council flat building, whatever you call it. And the thing is, also with it, we get to see Black Panther's father, T'Chaka, how you call him, but I'll just say T'Challa's dad. And we get to see him, his younger self, and we see him in his own Black Panther costume. It's similar to the one in Civil War, but he's got gold except for the silver, and he gets to talk to this. There's these two brogues, and this one main brogue from the flat is his brother. So that's new. I did look it up to see did Black Panther's father had a brother, but doesn't seem like it has. And what it is, they have a little talk about the vibranium has been stolen now. This comes back to Klaue with it, because if you've seen Age of Ultron, if you remember in that film, they looked into Klaw's background before they went to visit him. They said about he stole vibranium in Wakanda. So yeah, that does connect into this film. And what it is, he believes that someone from the inside of Wakanda helped Klaue. And T'Challa's dad finds out that his brother helped him. And they have a little discussion saying about why did you do this and all that. And then he also says about about taking him. Now, then next we do see the plane go off, so they must have dealt with all that. And you do see a bunch of kids outside playing basketball, but I will get back to about this. There's one kid in that scene, and I will get back to that bit when it gets to more later on in this video. So anyway, then we just had the logo of Marvel, and it's just the same. I thought it would turn into black, but now. And anyway, we get to present day. Now, the film actually takes place 1 week later after Civil War. Now, that was a surprise to me. I thought it takes place in 2018, but when you think about it, because the film's supposed to be about T'Challa becoming king, so it had to take place at the same year. So yeah, there's that. So what happens is, the news came up. That's when I found out about the timeline. So it says, well, 1 week later after T'Challa's dad's death. Talking about Berizimo, and all that. So anyway, so we see Black Panther, our T'Challa hero, is on a mission to rescue these people from these soldiers. And you got Okoye there, the leader of the Dumaji women. Sorry if I'm not saying her name right. Now you have to excuse me with some names. I might not say it right, but you should know who I'm on about. But I will just tell you what they look like anyway. Then you'll oh, I know who he's on about. Anyway, so T'Challa jumps into action. Now he throws these the balls that turn into circle things. It turns out they're devices that shut off vehicles, really. So that was really cool. Now the fighting scenes were pretty awesome in that bit. T'Challa beating people up, chucking people, and it was amazing. Now, in the one van that had, well, one vehicle that had a bunch of people in the back, you see that Nakia is there. Now, Nakia, she's a spy of Wakanda. So what she does is, she goes out into the world, and then when she comes back to Wakanda, she reports to Wakanda telling about what's going on in the outside world, really. She gives updates to Wakanda what's going on outside. And she's also, I'll bring this up as well, she's the she's the ex of T'Challa. So, yeah, she's an ex of his. So, they used to date, and then, well, I don't know what happened. It doesn't really say what happened, but they don't really date anymore. So anyway, she joins in the fight, and then Okoye joins in the last moment, saving this one person, and it really goes well. So next, we jump to them going back to Wakanda, and I'll tell you now, the city looks great, and it looks amazing. Now, also, they bring up that... Now, I thought that every time when the outside world keeps talking about Wakanda, I thought like, oh, they know about the city and everything, but they don't know where to find it. But what it is they don't know about the big city where they live, their own city. They just think it's one of these villages, one of those places where there's just small houses and everything. That they think that's Wakanda, but really, we know that Wakanda is like the big city with all technology and everything, but the outside world doesn't know. I thought I'd bring that up. So we get introduced to Black Panther's sister and mother, and they both bring up about it's your day, the day they become king, so they get ready for that, really. Now, we get to meet Black Panther's sister, and she is a bit of funny, really hilarious. Now, let's talk about that first part I've been on about. I do that as well. I tend to chat about how that bit goes so far. So, that bit I was on, those bits I was on about, that look good so far. I was saying to myself, the flashback scene, I was like, "Whoa, this looks interesting. This is really interesting. Like, how does this affect in the film?" That's what I thought first, and I was surprised about T'Challa's dad was in it. We get to see him in his young self in a Black Panther suit, so I was surprised about that. Also, with the fight sequence in the present, that was pretty cool, and I did love the introduction bit when we get to meet, Black Panther's mother and sister. I thought that was an awesome bit, and I said to myself, it's looking good so far. That's what I said. Now, jumping back to the story, next, we jump to London and we get to meet our main villain, Erik Killmonger. Now, we see him in a museum and he's going around looking at some weird objects. But then he points to one and he says about, "Did you know that this belonged to Wakanda?" And the person was going like, "I don't know what you're on about." And a disaster happens there. Some woman ends up on the floor, and then because Erik Killmonger poisoned her because she had some coffee and there was something in it, and then we get Klaw. Klaw makes his appearance, and then starts shooting people, and also we get a bunch of people who work with Erik Killmonger. We get a bunch of those soldiers, and then we get to see Klaw using his new hand, and he was amazing. He actually broke the glass. Now, and it turns out this weapon had vibranium on it, because as I said, because he says it's from Wakanda. So, but also as well, I looked earlier on the when you look up Erik Killmonger on Wikipedia, you can see the one picture where he's got that weapon. So in a way, that was like an Easter egg, really, and I thought that was fun. So they get away with it, and they plan to head to Wakanda. They plan to sell it, really. Well, Klaw was planning to sell it. Now, one bit I really forgot to mention, I thought I'd bring that now, it's the origins of Wakanda. Now, in the beginning, you do hear about a child talking, and that's going to be young T'Challa, and his father, and then Black Panther's father explains about how Wakanda became to be. So we learned that there was an asteroid that crashed to Earth that contained vibranium, and it crash landed where Wakanda is. And then the thing is, 5 tribes find this stuff, and they come together to create Wakanda. Now, as part of it, it explains that they dig some vibranium out from the mine thing, because it's like underground from where Wakanda is, and they dig it out so they can use it. And they also explain as well that they hide themselves because they learn of the outside world, with all the World War Ones and all the bad stuff happened. So they thought we keep it separate. And also it explains about the different tribes all fight for the kingdom of Wakanda. And he also does bring up about Man-Ape's place. And he says about they left Wakanda and thought to be their own place without using vibranium. So that's that bit explained. I did follow that in different orders. I should have explained that first, but I'll say that. I said that now. Now, anyway, we enter to the place where T'Challa is. What it is, it's a place that when you're about to become king, you need to. There will be other tribes there. It's where the Foy River is. That's where the fight takes place, and it's when if one of the members of the tribes want to challenge for the throne, then that's what happens. So you have random tribes, and also not all the tribes there. They go like, we won't challenge you, but then Man-Ape's tribe comes into it. Now he ain't called Man-Ape in the film, but he just goes by his normal name, Manbulbri or whatever you call it. But I'm just going to call him Man-Ape. So he comes out and says, "I challenge you," and all that. And then we also get introduced to Zuki. I'm sure that's how you say his name. He's the he's like who gives the he's the one with all in the purple stuff. He's a famous actor as well. He's the one who's got that bit of that eye thing. You might know who I'm on about. And what it is, and also this bit was interesting. So before the fight, T'Challa drinks this stuff, and he says, "Drink this, and you lose your strength of the Black Panther." So that's a new thing I learned about. So there's these two things that the king has to drink. So if he has to fight someone who wants to take the throne, he has to drink this stuff to lose his abilities. Because I can understand that. Because if he had the strength of the Black Panther, then it'd be easy to win. So I understand that one. But I'll get to the other one in a bit. What the other drink is. So anyway, T'Challa fights Man-Ape, and obviously he wins. So T'Challa, Black Panther, becomes the king of Wakanda. Next, he goes to this place and he drinks his other drink, and he gains his ability, his strength back of the Black Panther. And also, it takes him to where the old kings of Wakanda and former Black Panthers all go to, where they die. Like in his spirit place. And just to say this now, they don't use the Soul Stone to go there. So, nope, the Soul Stone ain't in the film. I just thought I'd bring that up now. So, because I heard some people were discussing saying that, that could be in the film, but no, it's not in the film. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but don't worry, we'll see it in the Infinity War. So anyway, back to the story. So, T'Challa sees his dad, the same actor who played him in Civil War, and he talks about, and he has a chat with him about, I don't know if I'm ready to be king and all that, and they really have a good discussion about that. So, and then T'Challa's dad brings on about, you're a good man with a good heart, and he's all that really. So then after that, T'Challa learns about the London incident, and they learn about Klaw was involved. So T'Challa and he goes on this mission. Now, before he does that, he goes to visit his sister, Zuri, who's the more smarter than Tony Stark, so she's into the technology, and she shows him some gadgets, and they are some good gadgets. She shows off this circle piece, you place it here, and you can hear, like, people talking to you. So it's like an earpiece, but they just put it on your skin. There is this one device, you place it on a vehicle, and then Shuri can sit on this chair and she can control the vehicle without no driver inside, so that's pretty cool. And then we get introduced to the new suit of Black Panthers, and it's amazing how it comes out. So T'Challa has to wear this necklace, and then he has a call on the suit, and then the suit just comes out of nowhere, and it is pretty cool. And we also learn as well, the amount of times that people will shoot at you or punch at you, parts of the suit will glow purple. And what happens is, when there's a lot of purple on there, T'Challa can release a blast, so it can blow enemies away. So that is pretty cool. Now with it as well, we do see Erik Killmonger's one. Well, we only see the necklace, but that does say like, Shuri built one for that as well. So we know where that came from. So then next, they go to South Korea because they learned that the weapon that Klaue and Killmonger stole from London, they were going to show it there. So Black Panther, Okoye, and Nakia, I'm so sorry if I get the names wrong, go to there, and they enter this club because they learned that's where the deal is going to take place. But then they have a trouble. The problem is, Everett Ross is there, the guy from Civil War who made his first appearance in Civil War. Not General Ross, not to get you confused, not that guy. So he's there as well, and he's planning to get that vibranium only to arrest Klaw. So that was a bit trouble. Now at that same time, we see Stan Lee, so he's there. He's just a person who's in this casino. That's where they at. So a secret casino. And then we end up in a fight scene where Klaw makes his appearance, and the deal doesn't go well. So a big fight goes out, and we get our first look at his sonic blast gun, and it's pretty cool. Then after that, we get a chase scene, and the chase scene is amazing. A lot of cars flipping and all that. It's pretty cool. But they do stop Klaw. They eventually catching him, and they take him to this one place in South Korea to interrogate him, really. And we learn that his new arm is actually a vibranium metal. Now, I don't know if that... I looked it up, and it doesn't say that was in the same in the comics, but that's a difference there. So anyway, Wash has a talks with Klaw, and Klaw tells him about, do you know about Wakanda? Saying about the real city of Wakanda, and Wash is like, what do you mean? I thought it's like that place. And he goes like, no. And he also explains about the arm of his. But then Erik Killmonger pops out of nowhere and rescues Klaw, so they get him out. But then Black Panther spots this wing on Erik Killmonger's, and it's like the same wing that he's got. That what we saw. It's kind of the wing we saw in the Civil War that he was with. Yeah, Civil War that Black Panther was wearing. So he was like, how has he got a Wakanda wing? And then, excuse me. And then next bit is we see the aftermath of what happened. Like we see Killmonger and we see Klaw and some soldiers. Got them in this area where there's a plane, and Klaw's about like, well, I get out of here, I'm going to go into hiding. And then Killmonger says, when you're at it, you'll drop me at Wakanda. And it doesn't go well. What happens is Killmonger kills one of the troops, and then Klaw gets one of these women, and it doesn't end up well with that woman. And Killmonger does have a girlfriend, but it's that girl, and then Killmonger just kills her. But pretty shocking, I know. And then Ness, they have a bit of a fight, Killmonger and Klaw, but then Killmonger gets him and shoots him on an injury, and then Klaw goes on about like, you want to go to Wakanda? You are mad. And then, now, in the film, we learned that to know if you're from Wakanda, you see, if a Wakanda person does this, you can see some whiting on the lip, on there. So that tells you that, oh, they're from Wakanda. And now, in the film, it makes you look like Killmonger is not from Wakanda. And then when he does that to Klaw goes like, what the hell? And then, sadly, Killmonger kills Klaw. So, yeah, he's been killed off. And I was like, oh, come on. And also, sadly, we're never going to see him join the Masters of Evil now, because Klaw's dead. So, I'm sorry to tell you this, but nobody, well, at least Andy Serkis had a good time in the Marvel film. I mean, who knows? He could come back from the dead, whatever goes on in the Infinity War in the 4th Avengers film. I mean, if that happens, but that could happen. But then next, we see Black Panther back in Wakanda, confronted to Zuri, the guy I was on about earlier. He was asking him that, why does this person have this wing? But then Zuri explains about the past, you know, the scene I was on about in the beginning, in 1992. Now, it turns out that the other guy who was with T'Challa's dad's brother, yeah, I did bring that up, the two of them were brothers. It turns out that the other guy, because you thought first, oh, he's just a normal person, but it turns out it's Zuri, but it's a young version, obviously. And T'Challa's dad sent him on a mission to spy on his brother to see if he was the Mo in Wakanda. So that's why he was there. But then also, Zuri tells him that your dad's brother had a child with an American woman. And then and then also we learned that the child is Erik Killmonger. So let me stop you there for a bit now. Let me explain so far how I thought about that. So I thought meeting Klaw, fighting Klaw and all that in South Korea, I thought that was full-on action-packed. I thought that was an amazing scene. Get to see Zuri and more about her tech. I thought that was really amazing. The aftermath of the South Korea night attack when they got Klaw, and that bit when they rescue it, Killmonger rescues Klaw, that bit was good. And then the fight with Klaw and Killmonger, that was a good scene. I loved that. And also I explained about the origin story of Wakanda. I thought that was pretty good. I said to myself, I'm glad they did that, because I did want to learn more, like, how did the city being created in this universe, and I was glad they did that. So, yeah. So that part was good so far. So let's get back to the story then. So anyway, let's get back to Killmonger. So, I already knew that in the comics, Killmonger is from Wakanda. But the one thing was, there's a difference here. So, this is the difference. Now, in the comics, his family were exiled in the comics. I think because of the similarity here with helping Klaw with steering vibranium. I'm sure that bit was the same. And it's kind of similar. But in the film version, we learned that T'Challa's brother, as I said, he's the father of Erik Killmonger's, Killmonger's child. And you know what I'm going to say here? It turns out that Black Panther, T'Challa, and Erik Killmonger were cousins. So I was like, oh, this is very different. Now, I did look it up, and it doesn't say about all them cousins in the comics, so yeah. I'm not really angry about that. I'm not really like, oh, why did you do it for the film version? But I thought, in a way, that makes perfect sense, really, to do it like that. Because then it gives you a sense like, so he can challenge T'Challa for the throne. So I was like, oh. Now, T'Challa, back to the story with T'Challa learning about this, we learned that, T'Challa gets angry with Zuri about that, saying about, first of all he gets angry about, like, why won't you tell me? And then he really shouts out and says, I am your king! And, I was like, whoa, man, you're really taking this seriously. So anyway, yeah, so what we learned at that point, we learned that T'Challa and Shuri have a cousin, and that's Erik Killmonger, so that's really shocking. Now, and part of this, now, I forgot to bring this up. Now, in the part where Klaw was escaping with Erik Killmonger, he got injured, and they managed to keep him alive, but the thing was, they had to bring him to Wakanda, and Okoye didn't agree on this, because she said, like, he's part of the CIA, and if he goes back to his leaders, they'll tell everything about our city, but they had to bring him anyway. So he wakes up in Shuri's technology room, and he's like, where am I? And then she tells him about Wakanda and everything. I was like, oh boy, this could end up bad if he really does tell the gunnerman. But no, that part doesn't come to happen. But anyway, we jump back to the throne room when he's having the talk with the other people with him, saying about this Erik Killmonger. And speaking about that, now in the film we introduced to Black Panther's friend, Okoye. I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. And he's also the boyfriend of Okoye, the leader of the Duomaji. I was surprised about that. Now, in his videos, we see Killmonger coming to them, and he's got this body bag, and he's got Klaw in there, and he says about, I want to speak to your king, like that, really. So he ends up in the throne room, and he tells them about, and he does tell them all about, I am the son of, I am the son of, Black Panther's dad's brother. He says that, and then in the way, and then he goes like, "Hello, auntie." He says that to Black Panther's mom, so that gives you more to saying, yeah, he is telling the truth. He's a cousin of, But also, Wash also tells them about his background. He says about, he's saying that his name is Erik Stevens. And in the field, he earned the name Killmonger. That's how he works in the film, but he is called Erik Killmonger. He just never goes by Stevens in the whole film. Well, they say that name at that point, but they never bring it up again. And he's just saying about he used to work with us. So Killmonger used to work with Wash. But that was before, all this event. So he learns about he's a mercenary, and all that. Just like we've learned from the info. So anyway, so we end up back in the river place where T'Challa fought Man-Ape in the part of the film. And thing is now, this time, he has to fight Killmonger. And that doesn't go well. So Killmonger wins the fight. And Zuri tries to stop him. Because Killmonger was about to chop, T'Challa's head off. And he says, Don't take his life. Take mine. Because what it is, because I didn't explain about this part. Now, in the flashback scene, we learned that T'Challa's dad killed his brother. And because Zuri was there, he saw it. And in the way, because he said to him, he said to Killmonger, he says, kill me because I was there for, your father's death, so you can get your revenge by killing me. And sadly, Killmonger kills him. He killed Zuri. And I was really sad about it. And then T'Challa gets defeated and gets chucked off in the river place and he falls into the water. Now you think he's dead, but obviously he's not. And then next thing is, Killmonger becomes the new king of Wakanda. Now, a part of his plot was to become the king, and what he wanted to do is, because Wakanda is supposed to be a secret place, he wanted to reveal the world that this city exists, like this is the real Wakanda and this is our technology. And he also wanted to sell the technology to the world because he said the world's not good out there, and it's best if they had these weapons, they can restart the world, and we'll be the ones in charge of it. So that was his plot, really. That was his plan. Now with it, Okoye, T'Challa's friend, actually joins Killmonger, so he betrays our allies, really. Now with it, Nakia, T'Challa's ex-girlfriend, they plan of running away with T'Challa's mom and sister. Now she tries to get Okoye, the leader of the Damaji, to join them, but she says, I can't, I'm loyal to the throne. So I could understand her bit saying about, that bit, because she's loyal to protect the throne and protect the king. And she was, in a way, she knows that, it's bad, I've got to serve this king, but I have to, And also, Killmonger does go through the spirit thing, to see his dad. And he actually does see his dad, and it's really like a emotional moment for him. But it was like a good scene, really. Nothing much really happened. They was just talking about, because it looks like Killmonger found the book of Wakanda stuff and all that, really. So far in that part of the story, let's jump to that. I thought that was pretty good. Now, the twist bit, as I said, I knew that Killmonger was from Wakanda, but I didn't know that he was going to be related to Black Panther, but I was shocked about that one. The fight between those two, whoa. I said to myself, it looks like Killmonger does win, because obviously T'Challa's got to lose, and then it has to become the point of the story that, he's got to get the throne back. So that's what happens. Now also, let's go back to the story. Now Killmonger plans to destroy all these purple flower stuff. That's where the power of the Panther comes from. The one I said about the drink to gain the power back. He tells the Wakandans to burn it all because he looks like he didn't want no one else to get that power. I can understand that, really. But luckily, Nakia sneaks in and steals one, so that was pretty good. Then next, Nakia, T'Challa's mom, Shuri, and Ross go to the Man-Ape's tribe, and they explain to him that the Killmonger has took the throne and everything. And Man-Ape was like, and all that. And then, luckily, T'Challa's alive. So Man-Ape explains that one of my men by the river found him, and they dragged him in, and they put him, they caused snow over him, because what it is, T'Challa was in a coma, and he says, if you take him out of that in seconds, he'll die. But luckily, because Nakia stole that purple flower, they made it into a liquid and give it to T'Challa, so he could be okay. And the next thing is, T'Challa's back in the spirit realm to speak with his dad again, and he confronts to him and saying about, did you what, about his uncle and all that, and he does tell, and then he is confirmed saying about, yes, I killed my brother and all that. And then also he does explain about, why did you leave Killmonger, because that lad, what I was on about, who was at the basketball bit, that was, when you see the one kid with the blue coat with the white, that was Killmonger when he was a kid. And he explains about, why did you not bring him along with you? And he says about we couldn't risk, Wakanda and everything, so that's when it happened. And then T'Challa comes out and says, I'm going to be given to all you kings. No, I mean, T'Challa, yeah. I think I said his name right. But anyway, so T'Challa tells his dad, I'm going to reveal our city to the world. It's time when we don't hide, and be a better king. So he says that. And then next thing he wakes up. So then next thing he plans about taking the throne back. And luckily, Shuri, his sister, had the necklace. So luckily he could get his suit, he could put his suit on, his newer one. And then he asked Man-Ape to join the fight, but he goes like, no. Why would Wakanda come to me now to ask for this? So that doesn't go well. And then we jump to the bit where Killmonger starts his plan of giving Wakanda weapons to the other spies who are out in the world, so they could start giving weapons to people in the outside world. But then lucky T'Challa comes in and says about, because I'm not dead, you still got to challenge me and all that. And then luckily the leader of the Dumaji, turns on Killmonger. And then next thing, Killmonger, because now has his Black Panther suit. Well, they call it the Jaguar suit or whatever they call it, but he turns into that, and he's pretty cool, the costume. And he can also do the same thing, like if you punch the suit too much, then he can blast like an energy, so that happens. The fight actually is awesome. So you see the Black Panther fight his best mate's soldiers, and it was really tough, really, because he goes to him and says, stop this, you've got to stop this, but he doesn't listen. And then what it is, Shuri places one of those devices, to control a vehicle, and they got him to fly one of their own ships, and to shoot down one of those other ships that was carrying vibranium weapons. So that was pretty cool. Shuri and Nakia suited up to fight in the battle, and that was pretty cool. Now, and then we jump to the bit where Black Panther starts to fight with Killmonger, and they fight in the tunnels they do, where the vibranium comes from. And the fight scene's good. And it was really amazing, the action and all that. And they lines what they say to each other. Now back to the fight with the Dumaji and Okoye warriors. So that happens. Now with it as well, Wash managed to defeat all of them. He managed to shoot all the ships down, and I thought it was like a good scene. I was like, yes, and I was like amazed at that. So next thing, you see like the Dumaji were going to be defeated at one point, and even Okoye tried to talk to the boyfriend, Wakanda. I'm sorry I can't say his name right, to stop this and being an outside again, but that doesn't work. And then Man-Ape comes out of nowhere and saves him. So, and luckily, Okoye, as I'm on about, the boyfriend to Okoye, the leader of the Dumaji, he surrenders. He doesn't die. Now, also in that fight, we see they use winos, because in their tribe they have winos, and and they have like them in armor, and it was pretty cool. The one bit I did love was T'Challa did pull one of the winos down, and it was amazing. Now back to the fight. T'Challa managed to defeat Killmonger. What he does is he learns that on the train tracks under the ground, they learned that they got these things to make sure that the vibranium doesn't blow up. It's something like that. And they said if you do that, you can damage the suit. Not completely damaged, just like so they could be vulnerable, so you can manage to stab them easily or like that. But then, and Killmonger does say to him, well, cousin. So he does bring up the word cousin. And then next, Panther managed to grab one of his blades up in the air. He grabs it and stabs Killmonger. And I was like, oh, man. And I was like, oh, great, now you killed him as well. And then really, he actually dies, really. But before it, Killmonger goes like, I've always wanted to see the city, you know, and he buzz up about, my dad was going to show me the place one day. So what happens was, Panther, T'Challa, brings him out of the tunnel, of the cave, and shows him the whole the city, and he goes like, wow, it looks amazing, and all that, you know. And even T'Challa at one point said to him, we can save you, we'll heal you and save you. But Killmonger was like, no. The slaves on the boats killed themselves because they knew, you know, they were unfairly dying. So he referenced that, he brought that up, really, saying about he didn't care if he died, really. And then he stabbed his weapon more well, no, he grabbed it out and then died. So yeah, Killmonger dies as well. So that was pretty sad. So then, after the whole thing was done, the whole city's back to normal. T'Challa takes back the phone, and everything's happy ever after, really. And then we see T'Challa with Nakia talking about, it's time we should reveal this to the world, you know, even, you know, we should do that. Really like that. And then next we see, and actually, they kiss, so them back together. That's what it looks like. So, sadly, I can't see that we're gonna see T'Challa and Storm getting together. Who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe they might, but I can't see it. Now, before the film ends, we jump to the back to Chicago. No, back to where the flashback scene took place in 1992, and we see T'Challa and his sister gone there, and T'Challa tells her that this is where our uncle got killed. And then she says about, because you see the building saying it's about to be destroyed, and she goes like, thank God it's going to be destroyed. And then T'Challa brings up and says, no, I own this building. And then he says he owns these other two buildings as well. And he says, this is going to be the start of sharing Wakanda to the world. And he says, this is where you'll be based, showing technology and all that. And I said to myself, oh, so they're going to show Wakanda to the world now. And I'm not disappointed about that. I mean, in a way, that's pretty good. That T'Challa wants to share the world with their real city, so I'm amazed about that. And the kids on the basketball courts, they see the ship of theirs, and they're like, whoa. And I'm sure one of them brings up and says about, is that a T'Challa ship? Something like that. So, a reference to the Avengers film. And then, really, in the end, you see the one kid go to T'Challa and says, well, hey, who are you? In a way, but he doesn't say, oh, I'm Black Panther. But it's like, he could say something like that. So the film ends on that bit. Now let's jump to the credit scenes. Yes, there's two credit scenes. So first credit scene, we jump to this the US nation. I think that's how they call it. It's the place, you know, when all the world leaders gather around and they have a little talk. And in there you see T'Challa, you see Nakia, Okoye, and Alish. I'm spelling it Ayo. One of the members of the Dumaji at this place. And T'Challa brings up about, it's time we share this the world with you, you know, our real city, Vibranium and our weapons and all that. And he says about it's time we want to share this with the world. And then one of the leaders brings up about, about this up. And then also T'Challa does bring up about, I want to share this with you all so we can make the world a better place. So that credit scene was going to be like... So what this credit scene was telling us is, it seems that now the whole leaders of the world know about this. It's like, oh, looks like the leaders will now have a share of technology with Wakanda. That, to me, that's what it sounds like they've got to do. And I said to myself, could we see like weapons in Infinity War, like Earth defense kind of Wakanda weapons? Because that would be amazing. Like, what if like the Earth has something like that when Infinity War kicks in? But I don't know. Maybe it may not have that. But who knows? A person could dream. Now, the last credit scene. Now we jump into this hood. Now I'm sure that's what you call one of those mini houses, really. And you see 3 kids and them looking down at something, and you're like, what are they looking at? And before we find out what it is, we jump to Shuri. And looks like this place is by the lake in Wakanda. And then the kids run to her and she goes like, are you annoying that man again? Well, something like that. And then the person comes out and it's Winter Soldier. So yes, Winter Soldier is out of his quiet chamber. Now, I'll bring this up just in case you didn't know. Now, in the Infinity War prequel comic, we learned that Shuri is working to, get rid of the Hydra stuff out of Bucky's head. And from this now, it sounds like now that she did it. She got it out of his head. Now, we see him wearing some just Wakanda clothes, and yeah, he got the new metal arm yet. And he goes up to Shuri, and Shuri's asked about, are you alright? And he goes on about like, yes, and thank you, really. And then next bit, Shuri says about, you've got a lot to learn of this place. And then cuts to black. And then the last bit says, Black Panther will return in Avengers Infinity War. So yeah. Now, that was a really good way to jump into Infinity War. Now, I didn't think that's what it could have been. I thought to myself maybe it might show us a scene from Infinity War, but no. In a way, that's like a good tie-in to jump into Infinity War, but I still loved it, really. And I did say to myself, are we going to see Bucky in it, or are we just going to get him mentioned? But no, Winter Soldier makes his appearance. So, yeah, about this film, I really liked it. As I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I did enjoy the twist, learning that Killmonger is Black Panther's cousin, so I was surprised about that. Surprised about the deaths like Klaw and Killmonger. I was sadly said I didn't want Klaw or Killmonger to die, so I was pretty upset about it. I thought everyone was good in that film. I thought all the characters were amazing. I thought the action was pretty good. I thought all the fight scenes that Black Panther had with his enemies, I thought, well, he had good screen time of fighting them. And I thought it was a great film ever. So now, the next film we got to wait for now in 2 months, well, for me, is Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, I get it in the it hits in my theaters on the April of the 27th. So I've got around 2 months to wait, and that would be pretty awesome. And last thing before I end the video, I'm planning to do a updated video on the Infinity Stones and the Gauntlet. An update of where they are and all that. I know I've done one, but I'm going to do more like an updated one, so so I can remind you guys where they were before and where they are now. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do it. I said I might do it a week before Infinity War, or it could be the start of April, but I'll see what I can fit it in. So yeah, that is my video. So if you enjoyed this video, and if you have seen the film, comment down below. Did you enjoy the film? Did you think it was good? Do you have some theories what could have been improved? And also give your thoughts on the film and the post credit scenes, your theories or anything about it. Also give it a thumbs up. Share this out to your friends so I can get more viewers and subscribers to the channel. And if you're new to this channel, this is what I do. I do Marvel and Transformers Cinematic Universe news, trailers, TV spot, clips, and spoiler reviews for both of them, just like I'm doing now. The news I do with the Marvel and the Transformers when any news comes out for one of those. TV trailers, TV spots, and clips. I tend to do those, but not the non-spoilery ones. Or if there's one coming out in 2 weeks before the film, I avoid those. And spoiler reviews, I only do for the films of the Marvel and also Transformers. But I know they haven't done a series for the live action universe, but I'm just pointing that out. Oh, and then last but not least, if you want to see my last Marvel video, click here. My channel, make sure you click the bell so you'll be notified when my new videos are up. And jump here to see my last Bumblebee video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you think this is good. Now, if it's not, I know it's in the way you might think, it's different how I might have done my other videos before, but spoiler wise. But as I said, I'm trying to short them down around half an hour, but I know it's gone more like that. But I'm just doing my best. So I planned it, but then it sometimes might not go ahead. But it's just I just do my best. That's what I say. I just do my best and see how it goes. So yeah, that's really guys. So I hope you enjoyed this spoiler review. Thank you for watching and see you guys soon. Peace.